elite breeding days, more like second best breeding days. Hey, it's funny because the elite monsters aren't even a possible outcome of this event. Hey, you guys did the awesome here to give you my personal review on the Elite Squires breeding event. Or Squires, not Squires. I said Squires. Squires. Elite Squares. You know, like they say, the square is always fair. But they're not in this event, so you get no squares in this event. For this, before you guys begin, you don't really get the big boys. What do I mean by the big boys? You see those little cells on the right corner, like those 5 cells per successful breeding. With those other guys, those circle guys are the second best guys, and right next to those guys are the squares. They even have square portraits. That's how good they are. Everyone has that, but But we're just rolling with the joke. It's obvious you'd much rather have the guys on the right, the 5 shell monsters as just whole monsters. So that way you can rank them up and whatever have you. But no. Instead, you get second best boys. Second best boys aren't bad per se, but you'd rather have the thing that, that you could possibly have in terms of cells. So basically with this event, whenever you do a successful legendary breeding, it doesn't matter which one you get 5 cells of that specific breeding for the representation. So if you were to say breed Akhenaten and Metalhead, which results in either Gakora or Inheritor, one of the better combinations. In fact, it's one of the better. It is probably. I don't want to say the best one. I think the best one is actually, God, I forgot this. Like the cloud guy and like Ultrabot. I forgot. It's funny because I use this thing and I forgot his name. That's the best combination. That's actually the best one. Well, regardless, whatever you breed, you'll get 5 cells. Let's say you do that. The first one I mentioned, the Akhenaten Metalhead, you will get 5 Soul Hugger cells. And you need, 5 down, 75 to go if you don't even have any cells. I find this to be absurd. Like why would you, it's like, here's like all these, put like a cool movie poster, and then plot twist in the movie, all the secondary characters are actually who you see for most of the film. You don't even see the main character you wanted to see. You just see him for like 5 minutes. Kind of like in the Batman movies, where Batman's only Batman for 5 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes. But that's probably the proper, analogy of it. Really, in short, basically what this event is, you get your secondary dish and a little like 5% of your main dish that you wanted. So if you don't really have 75 cells already, for these monsters, I think it's kind of pointless. Like to do the pairing if you're aiming for that specific monster. It is actually really pointless. It just is. So don't do this breeding event in the sense of, unless you actually have 75 cells of that monster, don't really focus on just getting the cells, because it's actually a low chance to even get a legendary for one thing, and like another, you might not even like the combination that it goes for. So I'm gonna review all the pairings, if you will, the monsters, and I'll give you kind of my input on them. So for the first step, Akhenaten and Metalhead, you get Gakora and or Inheritor. Gakora, really, really, really nice support. Has everything you could ever want in terms of protecting your teams. I think it's a good definition of a support. It has no denying skill, so it's not a denying is more so an offensive thing. It's not more of a protecting thing. Gakora's got a 1-turn cooldown, remove negative all positive effects on one enemy and all negative effects on all allies. He has a AoE life regen, which is nice. A single target skill, AoE life regen. He has a AoE control immunity skill, which is really, really, really good. And it provides a lot of protection against enemy deny. That's always nice. It has a really, really nice speed. He actually outspeeds a lot of the old metagame. So it is really a really, really, really good combination. It's a really good monster to go for because he just does so much in terms of a support sense. I think a support should focus on protecting allies. Deny does that too, to be honest, but I feel like that's more of an offensive thing, and that's actually not guaranteed to land unless you like build around that, like with True Vision or whatever. Like buffs are guaranteed to land. Like so that's absolute stuff. I think a support is focusing on team, your own team rather than the enemy team. That's kind of what my kind of view on a support is. It's focusing on keeping everyone else alive. Deniers do that too, but in the sense that it's an offensive presence, not a defensive guaranteed presence. Evasion, he also does an AoE evasion, which, if you guys don't know what evasion does, if you're new to my channel and or any other, Monster Legends channel, if you don't, or just like the game in general, evasion is pretty much you dodge everything except AoE remove or single target remove positive effects. That's the only thing it doesn't avoid. But it avoids virtually everything else, pretty much guaranteeing you a turn in. If the enemy doesn't build any monster with remove positive effects, you are guaranteed to get a turn in, absolutely, if you have it up. That's how evasion works. It lasts for a turn, so it doesn't last for... some monsters have it for more than 2, but those are with like extra turn skills. So I don't know the real value behind that, because it's basically just a 1-turn evasion at that point. But... yeah, that's the main gist for the most part. Really, really great monster. Really great support. I think the Gakora and then the next light monster I'm going to talk about soon is a must-have. You need these monsters. They're really nice. They're really, really, really nice. Inheritor. He was the first fire monster in the game to pretty much have a deny skill. An AoE deny. That's very unique. It's an AoE possession. Possession is really, really nice. Not as effective nowadays due to the fact every monster has an extra turn skill, which could result in, them getting out of the deny, which is never good. But for the most part, if it works really nice. It works really nice for you. In fact, sometimes they can even be considered, absurd. But it's really, really nice. Problem is, though, Inheritor is slow. He is a slow boy. He hits like a truck, though. That's actually plot twist. Deny is actually his second career. His main career is beating the crap out of things. So he actually does loads and loads of, fire-based damage, I believe. His main dealio is fire-based, I think, with some, special damaging skills. He has a really unique trait called Demon, where you're immune to... I think you have the 20%, and then you have like immunity to burn and ignition, I think. I think you get like some DOT immunities with the 20% less likely to get hit by a status effect. Not as good as modern day traits. A lot of monsters nowadays have tough, so that's not doing them any favors. However, those DOTs are meta right now. He's possibly a really good counter to Marquise de Flambe, a very popular fire monster right now in the game. You'd have to work on him to make him a really good matchup, because a lot of people have him at 4, but or 3. I guess 3 works too. If you have like a denier to control Flambe, you can get rid of him at that point. So there's that. Really nice fire attacker, one of the better fire options in the game, if you choose to go for this specific one. And you get 5 Soul Hugger cells if you get either one of them. I think Soul Hugger is a fantastic must-have monster. It's really, really anti-meta against a lot of the things in the game right now, because a lot of people are running spirit monsters at rank 4 and 5, and it just eats them. At rank 2, it eats things. It eats virtually a lot of spirit monsters when you're not even running 10s yet. I'm not even running a 10 on my Soul Hugger yet, because I want to wait till like 3. And it's already chewing through just any spirit monster. It removes them for free. Spirit monsters are really, really, really annoying to deal with, and he gets rid of them for free. I find that fantastic. He doesn't kill anything else right away beyond spirit monsters, obviously. That's his main deal. He gets rid of the spirit monsters. Everything else you need to use kind of other monsters to deal with that, but There are so many monsters in the game right now that can just deal with things with DOT or control. It's alright if you can't kill them turn one. You can't kill the other monsters turn one. As long as you kill instantly kill the annoying monsters. And some people could run all 3 spirit monsters. You're guaranteed to win at that point. Soul Hugger will kill spirit monsters. That's what he does. That's what any spirit, hater, I'm not a hater. Yeah, that's what any hater does, is just kill the thing it excels at killing. Period. It will kill it. If it has the buff up, it will kill the thing it's effective to. Given you have proper runes for the situation or level. Whatever the situation also demands a little more from you. But if you meet those requirements, you get rid of it for free. That's really good. I think Soul Hugger is a really good thing to have. If you have 75 sales and you're debating whether or not to do this combination for this monster, I think it's worth it. Go pick up a Soul Hugger. It's really, really, really nice monster. It's really good. Really nice, really spicy, really clean. Next is, okay, I just gotta look this up real quick. What's this guy's actual... Is it Cloudian or what? What's his name? Tempest. Oh, his name was Tempest, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's Tempest. Yeah, I'm actually using him in a combination right now. I'm actually trying for this one. It's Tempest. That's right. I think it is Tempest. Yeah. That's what his name was Tempest. I don't know why I was having trouble with that, but I think it was Tempest. So the next combination, you need Tempest and Ultrabot. You get Alkanine and Talika, which are both phenomenally fast. Again, really nice monsters. Alkanine was the other light monster I mentioned. Alkanine is really, really nice. Kind of a terrible matchup against Clipium because he can't stun Clipium, but he can activate the cooldowns, which is really nice. He holds 2 cooldowns activation, one a single target and one on an AoE basis, that also procs guard down, I believe, which is phenomenally nice, because you're guaranteed to land all your things if the effect itself lands, just guaranteeing you pretty much satisfaction in all your attacks, and pretty much ensuring that you actually land them. And you actually, look at that, you got consistent landing rates. Amazing. You feel like you actually get to play the game now. You actually land your skills. Amazing. That's what LK9 does. LK9 is nice. He also does Guard Hater, though the timing is rather awkward. You kind of need another monster with Guard down to really take advantage of the Guard Hater buff. Which does triple damage to anyone with Guard down. Status haters are actually better than book-specific haters because it's universal on everyone. If you have the specific status effect, you're dead. Doesn't matter what book you're in, doesn't matter what, how tanky you are. If you have the hater buff on with the additional requirements for you needing to OHKO the thing, you will kill it. Triple damage does an absurd amount of damage. Just absurd amounts of chunks of your life, and it's just good. It's just really good. It's disgusting. Like the Deniers do like at least 20k to enemies. It's dumb. It's guys, the buff is like hater buffs are dumb. Some even have it as a trait, which is even more dumb. But it's just crazy good. You destroy things. It's cool. It's cool. Alkanine is a real boss. Because he's a mafia boss. Talika is a wonderful denier because she also holds support capabilities into her kit. She has a AoE double stun, so if you miss the first time, you might hit the second time. The damage isn't twice, just the effect. So you have 2 chances to actually land stun on an enemy. This is really, really nice because a lot of games have, not a lot of games, a lot of monsters have harden or tough or even bulwark, which is dumb. It just increases the likelihood of you actually landing your deny, which can be very important in situations. Some situations could make or break a game if you miss a deny skill or not. So the run this is nice. If you I guess I haven't talked about anything else about her. She also has an AoE 40% shield that removes all negative effects on like a 2-turn cooldown. I love that skill. It's one of my favorite AoE shields in the game because it just cleans everything and it's consistent. It's nice. It saved a lot of monsters. It actually saved a lot of games for me just because of how good the shield is. So it is a monster worth picking up. Both of this combination ain't bad. This is the other non-bad combination. It's really, really, really nice. It's really good. If you successfully do this, you get 5 Dunra shells. If you have 75 Dunra shells, which is really, really, really good. And you can do this combination. You do get a legendary monster. You have the ability to craft her. Dunra is amazing. As far as I'm concerned, Dunra is a must. You need Dunra in competitive play. Like really high tier competitive play, you need Dunra. At least at rank 1 too. Because that's when she gets a curse. That's actually her win condition is curse to AoE curse. Phenomenal tank. The reason why she's so phenomenal is she starts the game off with a Mega Taunt, which is a recently new buff that they added to the game. I'd say a few months ago, or a month or two ago. Phenomenal utility. Because what does Mega Taunt do, Dib? Mega Taunt draws everything. AoEs and single target skills alike are all drawn to Dunra. Additionally, even all starting debuffs at the beginning of the game also go to her. So if you're fighting Gorg, all those shock debuffs actually just go to her. So she's the only one getting shocked. Amazing. Really good because there's a lot of monsters. There's actually a monster right now called Olnir who gets triple damage to anyone that he was currently shocked. So that actually prevents an instant wipe if you do run the Dunra to do that. It's nice. Because it also gives, like, even if, like, Gorg were to remove, like, he has a skill that removes positive effects and then apply, effects and damage, it actually still only goes to her. So that's really good. It's like a saving grace, if you will. It's really, really, really nice. What else is there? She also has I do believe she has, like, I want to say it had, like, no stamina. It was like Gates of Gaia, which also applies Mega Taunt. Is in case the event you lose the Mega Taunt, and you get like control immunity. So that's really nice. It's really good. Again, just a must-have monster in terms of war. You need it. It's just too good. It's Elvira but better. It really is. In fact, it is better than Elvira. It's 1,000 times better. If you told me, Dib, would you rather have a 130 Elvira or 130 Dunra? I tell you the Dunra, my boy. I would, because it's such a great support. It's really nice. It's really good. It's a or not support, a tank, but like it has that Megaton is such a huge support built into it. It's just really must have. This is good. This is the other good combination. If you have 75 Dunra cells, you're debating, is this monster worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely, it's worth it. The next combination is Kulkan and Laeth, and you get the monsters, what are they? Treepog and like Dungeon Master. So that's really nice. Treepog is a self-tank who at the beginning of the game gets a 50% shield. There are monsters nowadays that start the game off with... there's a monster called Fullman who actually does an AoE version of this, so it's just automatically better. It's team utility versus self-utility. Treepog himself is really tanky on the condition he don't remove his shields. He's actually a really, really beefy monster, just because of all that initial life at the beginning of the game, plus sustain. So it's a nice tank. He's able to apply poison and guard down, and then I think he had like shield block, I think. So he actually counters himself in a way. The problem with Treepog is he doesn't do really anything else beyond that. So it's kind of a hit or miss thing whether or not you want to use him. He is also, however, one of the few nature monsters in the game to have double shield. If you have double tenacities, that's really good. That even makes up for the fact he doesn't have AoE shielding. So for his buff, so that makes up for that. I think it's a really decent competitive monster. It's not as good as the two monsters above, the two other choices above, but certainly really nice. If you wanted like the the resulting monster Dracor, but you're unsure about the one of these combinations between the Treepog and Dungeon Master, both of these monsters are really nice competitive monsters. They're not busted by any means, but they're nice because they have their own little swing on things. So Treepog is decent. I don't think it's a trash monster. I think it's decent. It works in competitive play if you have the right stuff for it. You can make it work. It can work. Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master is a very popular magic monster in the game. Really awesome design. As an AoE total blind, so it's not if you guys don't know what total blind is, it's 100% less accuracy. So virtually means you miss if you have it. If you go for a skill, it's pretty much wasting stamina and a turn because you're not getting anything done. You'll miss it. It's guaranteed. So the only real way to get around it's really with extra turn skills. But for the most part, it's a really nice deny kind of thing. I don't treat the total blind as really a support skill. I treat it more so again as a kind of a deny thing, because you're guaranteed to miss the enemy's guaranteed to miss their next attack. So it's kind of like a deny thing. You basically deny them of really doing anything, but they can still like do buffs and stuff, I guess. So maybe it's a little more supportive. I don't really know. I think anything that pretty much makes it so you don't really do anything offensive is also kind of a turn waster. But beyond that, she has a random torture effects. So she's got like a D&D thing going on, and I like that. It's a really cool monster. I like it. She also has cooldowns active and deactive. However, the deactive has a cooldown. I find that absurd. I don't think any monster that has a deactivation AoE switch to have like a cooldown on it, that's dumb. That's actually really bad. I don't find that good at all. I find that pointless actually. I find it a dead skill. If you get your cooldowns activated, the skill is automatically dead. So I don't think there's a point to use it. In terms of that specific skill, everything else about Dungeon Master is nice. Again, there are better options. With the recent magic monsters out of the game, there are better options. That's just how I feel about it. It's still a really, really nice monster. It's a really great competitive monster. There's just other things now that kind of overshadow it, or just are too much for it to handle right away. There's too many faster things than it. And if you do this combination, you get 5 Dracor cells. Dracor, in my opinion, if it's pretty much if you don't have a 130 Agursis, this is pretty much kind of the thing you want to invest in. If you don't have Agursis at all, it's just the thing you invest in between them. It's virtually Agursis, but it has a few different things. It has fire weakness, which is neat. It combos well with his fire-based damage skills. He has he actually has a mega stun skill. Problem with that nowadays, though, they made it so monsters that just have stun also immune to the mega version of stun. So it's been kind of nerfed. I do believe he has a spammable stun. I think if you have True Vision on this guy, it's busted. Because you're guaranteed to land mega stun. That's pretty good. The damage is low, but the effect is huge. It's pretty good. I'd say if you're running the monster, it's Name. This monster can be really, really, really nice. If you combined Virtue and Aztec, you get Duskora and Hackster. I believe this is probably the worst combination possible. I find this disgustingly bad. This combination is not good. It's not a good result. The monsters that are like these two monsters for the breeding combination is also very uncommon. I don't see much people. If you're a new player, I don't really see like Virtue or Aztec. So they're just uncommon monsters to have. The results are also kind of, meh. Duskora, a really nice healer. A really, really nice healer, but in order to get her burst healing, you gotta wait like a turn, and I don't really like that too much. It is totally just a healing monster. It's not meant to do really anything else. I think she has precision. Don't quote me on that, but she excels in healing. That's good. I think she was one of the better healers in the game, just because of her ability to spam here. I don't think, though, she has any skills that remove negative effects. That's actually huge, because we recently got a monster that does reverse healing, or like really, really, we're talking like top dogs, like low-key top players use the monster Neemstress, and not Neemstress, I forgot it's the nature Nemesis monster. It's not Neemstress. No, nobody uses the basic legendary monster. No, that's not the one. It was let me pull him up. Low key, like the best of the best use this monster. You won't hear the average Joe ever mention him, but he's Nadia. Okay, so this is one of the underdogs of competitive play, low key. Why is this? This is because he has a skill called I forgot. I actually forgot the name of the skill. But what the skill does, it's an AOE. It applies like reverse healing, and I think it did a DOT too. But I think he has like two of these, and it is pretty much what reverse healing does. If you were to heal by either skills or relics, you take damage instead, which is really really nice. Not as good against Warrior Masters like in terms of the skill aspect, but a lot of people like to run healing relics, so it's a good anti measure against that. If you do manage to knock the health below that threshold, it is pretty much an instant wipe if the damage is absurdly high. If you have really, if it has a really high healing scaling, it procs, they are kind of just dead. So this is low key the like top tier strategy is reverse healing, and we just got a monster that's really really popular with the whole community. So we might see more of reverse healing, though I don't know if it's really all too good on her because she has instant death anyway. As long as the enemy doesn't heal, which you have cooldowns activations, you have measures to prevent them from doing, healing and remove negative effects. Or, remove then healing, you know what I mean? You're pretty solid. It's just nice. But it's just a good, thing. And there's a monster in the game that runs it that everyone likes. Like, universally, all across the board, every competitive player thinks it's really good. So, it's more likely of a matchup. Therefore, it's kind of hard to vouch for Deskura. Because it doesn't actually have remove negative effects and then heal. There's only I think the only monster that's not a War Master monster that removes negative effects and then heals is the monster Living Forest. Really good support nowadays too because it works well with the taunt tanks. A really 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 nice support. It's on a 1 turn cooldown too. Living Forest is like living the dream right now. Also a low key contender. It's like no one really talks about it, but it's just really anti-meta right now, just because of all the low cooldown support things he does. So that's Duskura. Hexter has really 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 nice deny capabilities. Really really nice. However, he's slow. He's too slow in nowadays meta. There's too many things that are pacing this thing. Really, you can only bring this to a fight where you are for sure to get the first punch. But it's basically a better rune situation, or you have rune temple up and it goes over things that are supposed to be faster than it. Because even if you have your rune temple activated, it doesn't count towards your defense, which is weird. It should count towards everything, but it doesn't. Then you can use Hexer in those situations, but beyond that, in terms of a natural sense, if your runes aren't better, or if everything's kind of even Steven, if you're running him in terms of a full speed, you're not getting anywhere. But his deny stuff is really, really nice. I will say if you run him full team speed, I'd say that's alright. But if you're running full speed nowadays, I just don't think he's fast. He's not fast enough to be used in competitive play. There's too many things faster than him, and there are too many things activating his cooldowns. But beyond that, though, if you do get beyond the speed problem, if you're running full team speed instead of full speed, he has a lot of nice deny capabilities. He's got AoE hacked, which it goes over natural possession. If you're immune to possession naturally, you go over that. And if you don't have abomination, and or you're a necromancer, you just go over it. Really, really nice. He also holds AoE stun, also really good. Really, really nice combination of deny there. You got possession, and then you got your solid deny. He even has stop time, which is considered really low key, really, really important right now. Stop time is huge in the meta right now because we've just got a new monster that has anticipation and control immunity. It's immune to all basic control effects, essentially. There's been monsters in the past with universal control immunity, but this thing has anticipation too. So you really, really want that unique deny. I will say Hexer is really Like again, he's kind of a low key underdog at the moment. He's not as dominant as he was back in the day, but he certainly a very very nice tempting choice in terms of just for his ability to be able to stop the new monster, or just like any monster with control, the basic control immunity. It is low key really really clutch, but that's a if you can get the turn in. He's not really a support. He's a denier, but you're running him with the seed, which isn't a bad thing per se. But it's not. It's basically you're running like you had the option to choose between a weapon and a shield, and you chose to bring two weapons. I think it's no like beyond the offensiveness. There's no defensive in your meal, or your set. Overall, I find this total combination. If you were just getting for those 5 Gork cells. 5, okay, actually, this is nice. So if you actually have 75 Gork cells and you asked Dib, would this be worth it? And I'd say yes. It'd be the most worth thing ever. If you do have 75 Gork cells and you have the, you have the combination, right? And you just like, is this worth it? Like I could possibly get like, other second best boys, but I get the chance to get Gorg done. Is Gorg worth it? Absolutely. Gorg is absurd. Even at 100, he's absurd. Why is he absurd? Because he constantly removes effects, which is really, really nice. And he does this before he does the, damage and the effect. So this is really good. He has Whale Hater. He has Sea Hater, so he's effective against any sea monster, including himself. So he wins mirror matchup against himself. He has 2 other extra turn skills, which rotate well. If you have Charging Banner, you pretty much move for a good deal of time. But sometimes you do stop, but you do a lot of damage. So it is his, theoretically speaking, like that build is his best build with like running all 3 extra turn skills plus the skill you get at rank 4, which is an AoE, remove positive effects, AoE stun. Amazing. Really good, really effective, really nice. He also has, again, the single target skills that also apply the the damage, and the effects are AoE, so that's also really good. It's a crazy, just one of the best monsters in the game right now, like easily best attacker. It's just universally good. It's really 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 nice, and you can even run as a denier too. Its speed is 3,509. I think that's kind of the main speed nowadays. That's kind of the main acceptable speed. Really good. So you even have the option to do that if you're rank 4. You even have the option to do it at, denier. Because he also holds a single target stun skill that does 70 damage. That removes effects and then does the effect and damage. It's just good. So it's just really good. The final pairing is with RFL and Draza. In the results you get Fatted and or Barrenness. Fatted's always nice. I think Fatted will forever be a really nice competitive monster. However, he's really weak to cooldowns activation. Like extremely weak. If you're in a situation where they can bring cooldowns activation, it might not do you much good. You need things to protect his cooldowns because his utility is amazing. So he has a single target revive skill that gives the revivee 3 triple damage. So you do 3 times the damage on your next. When the monster gets to go, it gets triple damage. It could be a board wipe if that's the damage dealer. And he has a skill that can kill, your monster. And he gets all of his stamina back and an extra turn. Crazy good. Amazingly good. He can even self-proc that condition. That's crazy good. Again, really high cooldowns, but if you can, build around his weakness, it will serve you well. He also holds a AoE Poison and Bleed DOT. Really nice, really good. A lot of people have Fatted at rank 4 because, again, it's a really nice support. He holds double chest plate, which means double self-sustain. Absurd. Really nice. Really good. Really tanky. This monster is a tank. This is one of the tankier monsters in the game because he also has a extra turn skill that does double healing plus life regen. So not only do you get 40% recovery on that extra turn, you get more for the following turns, which is nice. It's good. It's really beefy. Again, really, really nice. Barrenness, pretty much anti-cooldowns, pretty much helps his, Fad's problems. They give both of these monsters, you kind of have a nice little novelty knockoff team. Really nice, really good. She has a spammable remove all cooldowns, negative effects. Nice, and it's really utilitative and good. She also has cooldowns protections into her kit, AoE cooldowns protections, which is nice, but it only works against cooldowns, activation comps, and that's kind of hard to do because a lot of monsters that can cooldown activate can also deny. So yeah, it's not. It's pretty much like poor man's Shizar. It's not as good as Shizar, but it's basically the non Shizar, which is nice. Very few times you can bring her, but when you can bring her, she can do a lot of for your team. She has a extra turn cooldowns activation skill, really nice. That's really, really good. It lets her do more that turn. And then you have AoE stamina regen, really nice. And then I think you have Artifact Hater too. She also has so she's effective against Timyrons, or Flameron comps, Artifact comps, really good. The resulting monster is Kayn. I will say Kayn is a really powerful damage dealer. He's not as good nowadays because a lot of people are building anti-stuff against DOTs. A lot of people are actually running remove negative effects now, which is really nice for the meta. But this thing can still pub stomp if given the opportunity. This monster does absurd amount of damage. It is crazy how much damage this monster does. If you do have 5 cells, if you only need 5 more cells to craft this thing, it is worth crafting. It's just really good, phenomenally good, because his trait is bleed hater, and he has 3 extra turn skills that does bleeding, so he can even self proc his condition immediately. That's crazy how much damage this thing does. A lot of people build that Rainbow Rune build just because, even though you're listing out in 102% more damage, it's fine because you have triple damage once you proc your condition, and you're tanky. You're not gonna die right away. A lot of people nowadays aren't actually running the extra turn build because I think everyone realizes now everyone's running anticipation. So it's kind of hard to kind of vouch for that nowadays. I think it's kind of hard to really vouch for extra turn heavy builds. It's not reliable anymore because everyone's running Ragnarok or Marquise de Flambe, or just things that punish you for doing extra turns. It's kind of hard to vouch for it. But when you can do it, it's nice. It's amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of all my thoughts on the monsters. Overall, if I had to choose at least one monster, absolutely one monster, get Gorg. Gorg is really nice, even at 100. It does everything you could want it to do, plus more. It's just a really nice monster. So that's what I'd say. If there's one monster that you had 75 cell stores and you have to choose between them, get the Gorg. Gorg is nice. Gorg is amazing. But that's it for this video. That's all my thoughts on this event overall. I really do think it's just a second best kind of monsters in the game. They're not really they're not as good as the 5 cells you could get, but it's it's all right. They do well in competitive play. They're all right, but there are better stuff to run. Or you get the. You mean if you could choose between the cells and the monsters that you get, you'd either choose just those as the combination monsters you get. But I can't. Yeah, this is whatever. That's my opinion. I'm done. I'm Dib the Awesome, and I'll catch you guys in the next ML video. Catch you guys later.